All right, guys, today we are going to talk about banquets and meetings. As talked about when we were doing group sales, banquets and meetings can be a huge revenue aspect, and it can bring in a ton of extra business. So, hosting meetings and banquets is big business for hotels. Your group sales department has been hard at work booking both meetings and banquets. As the food and beverage director, you are responsible for delivering these great meetings and banquets. So let's go to actions, banquets, and meetings. And look in the left column. It is now Monday, January 2nd. Over here. When is your next meeting and or banquet? So we've got one tomorrow for 110 people from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yes. All right, so we're going to hit next. All right, so it's a meeting. In this sim, meetings are much simpler than banquets. They only require that you get the room set up properly in time for the meeting. Even though we are just setting up for a meeting, we'll call the persons doing the setup banquet servers. Let's see how many we'll need. Assume the following. You will begin setup 1 hour before the meeting. It takes a server about 7 minutes to set up a table. Each table seats 4 people. 110 people are attending the meeting. How many servers do you need to complete the setup? Ooh, that's a lot of math. Okay, so we've got 110 people coming. Let me get my handy dandy calculator. We've got 110 people coming, and each table seats 4 people. So 110 divided by 4 is 27.5 tables. So really, we're going to need 28 tables. Okay, it takes about 7 minutes to set up a table. And you will begin 1 hour beforehand. So 28 divided by 7 is 4. I think it's 4. Yay! All right. Great, nice calculating. Let's try our solution. With the banquets meetings window still open, change the date to tomorrow, January 3rd. Oops, not the 10th. Then click Add Shift. Enter 4 for the number of employees and select Banquet Server. We don't need any cooks. Under Position, enter 12 p.m. For start and 6 p.m. end time. So that's a 2-hour cleanup. This will give employees time to clean up after the meeting. Click the Add Now button. Then click Close. Now click the Run To, and we're going to run to January 4th and let the simulation run until it automatically stops. You can use the speed slider to slow it up or slow it down. Woo, that's really slow. All right, so watch your screens because we're going to see what happens on the night of the banquet. Or the afternoon, I guess. Okay, set it up. Did our staff get the meeting set up on time? Looked like it to me, so we're going to hit yes. All right, now let's try a banquet. Your next banquet is scheduled for January 4th at 7 p.m. with exactly 110 people attending. We need to view banquet kitchen. Oops, nope, wrong one. All right, so here is our banquet kitchen. All right, banquet setup requires food preparation, more complex table setup, and food serving. Banquet cooks will handle the food preparation, and banquet servers will handle setup and food serving. Your banquet cooks will work in a special banquet prep area with a plating line. You will need at least 3 cooks, 1 to prepare the meat, 1 for the starch, and 1 for the vegetable. They will all help plate the meals. For this banquet, we'll assume we'll use 3 cooks and work backwards to see when they must start preparing. Also assume the following for food prep. The banquet starts at 7 p.m. You need to prepare 110 meals. On average, 3 cooks working together can prepare and plate about 120 meals in 90 minutes. So we need about 90 minutes. Meals must be ready 15 minutes before the banquet in order to be served on time. So we need an hour and a half beforehand to be able to start on time. It starts at 7 p.m. So we need to roughly start at about 5 p.m. Gives us 2 hours to get ready. All right, now let's figure out how many servers we need. We know the cooks will have the food ready by 6:45. The servers bring the food up from the kitchen in hot boxes and keep it ready until it is time to serve. Once serving begins, it should be completed in 20 minutes for a good guest experience. Assume the following about our servers. They are serving 110 meals. For a good guest experience, we want all of them to be fed within 20 minutes, and each server can serve a table of 8 guests in about 5 minutes. So how many servers are we going to need? So we have 110 people. They can serve takes them 20 minutes. Brought to guests within a span of 20 minutes. Each server can serve a table of 8 guests in about 5 minutes. So 110 divided by 8 equals 13.75. Divided by 5 minutes. So I think we need 3 servers. Nope. 4 servers. All right, let's try it. Click Actions, Banquets and Meetings. Now we'll set up our staffing. So we need to add a shift. We need 3 for banquet cooks. We need them to start at 5 p.m., which we knew. And they're going to end at 9 p.m. So we're going to add that now. And then we're going to click Add Shift. And we need 4, not 8, woo, banquet servers. And they're going to also start at 5 p.m. and go till 11 p.m. Okay. Now we're going to close. We're going to click View, Banquets and Meetings, and then we're going to click Run To, and we're going to run to the 5th. All right, let's watch what happens. So it's 8 a.m. Let's see what happens at 5. Okay, they're getting set up for 110 people. All right. Once the banquet employees start their shifts, you can use View Banquet Kitchen to see cooks preparing for the banquet, and View Banquets Meetings to see servers set up the tables. So we could have gone a little bit slower, probably. Let's get some customer feedback on how we did. Click Reports, Tweeter. I think they meant Twitter. What is the most recent tweet? Got my banquet meal already. Feels like I just sat down a couple of minutes ago. Very nice. Awesome. That means we did good. We went fast. He got his food right away, which means it's still hot. So let's go to next. If you hadn't gotten the table set, the food prepared, and the food served on time, this feedback would be very different. As you go through the final step of this lesson, use Tweeter as one way to gauge how well you are satisfying your guests. Your goal now is to manage 2 simultaneous banquets while achieving an overall customer satisfaction score of at least 76 and staying within a staffing budget. Your CSS is shown at the bottom of the main screen. I don't think you can see it if I move this down maybe. Right here. So right now we're at 76.6. That's good. We want to stay there. The banquets will be occurring January 5th. Information on the number of attendees can be found at Actions, Banquets, and Meetings. So over here, we've got a banquet for 110 starting at 7, and another one for 60 starting at 7 as well. So we already know what staffing we need for the first banquet because we just had one of that size. So you need to add to your staffing to accommodate for the 60 people. Okay, so use what you have learned to schedule staff for the banquets. All right. As you run the simulation, you can monitor your progress toward the goal by clicking on working on the goal, etc., etc. All right, so using your math skills and what you know about how many people can serve a certain amount, so you can go back and use those skills that we've already looked at, you need to create a shift, okay? All right, good luck.